Thank you, y'all. You guys are now tuned into the Hip Hop Addict Show. Today we have a special guest, goes by the name Poetic, hailing out of Detroit with his new project, Inner City Blues. Today, me and Poetic will be talking about spirituality and hip hop. Thank you for all the love, y'all. Y'all know who this is, man. This is your boy Geechee Dan. Got my man Poetic in the house today. Poetic,
it's good.
Say
man.
Something for the good people out there on the internet.
How y'all doing out there, man? Hope all is well.
And we wanted to have a conversation with you guys today. We wanted to talk about spirituality and hip hop. Is it there? Does it belong there? What exactly is spirituality in hip hop? Is it a good thing? Do we need it? We're going to speak on it. One of the reasons I wanted to have this discussion because, I'm sitting down bumping music one night and a lot of stuff has gone left. When I say hip hop music has gone left, we have a lot of guys out here talking about the same old, same old. What we call the same old would be, the cars, the women, the jewelry, things of that nature. So I said to myself, there's no spirituality in hip hop. And what is spirituality? In my opinion, and we'll let Poetic jump in and, take it over whenever he's ready. But in my opinion, spirituality is the social responsibility within hip hop to be progressive in a good way. So it is our responsibility to speak on social issues, political issues, issues that affect your neighborhood, his neighborhood, issues that affect the world. This is, to me, spirituality in hip hop. Spirituality is awareness, knowing your situation, knowing our predicament. And there seems to be, to me, very few artists that really touch on these things. So much so now to the point that almost every artist kind of sounds just like the artist that came maybe 2 years before. Like I said, my special guest on the show is Poetic, hailing from Detroit. He has a project out right now that you guys can Google and find on iTunes. It's called Inner City Blues. And Poetic also is a Christian brother, so I thought this would be appropriate for him to speak on this matter. And Poetic, you tell me, what do you think is lacking in, before we even touch on spirituality, what do you think is lacking in hip hop?
I think real life is lacking in hip hop. Real truth, man. I think that from the very foundation of hip hop, it was a social outcry. Whether it was police brutality or people dancing on the block or people just having a good time, man, they use hip hop to really convey a message. And I think that the messages have been lost. I mean, it's just amazing to me. Like, I tell you all the time, bro, like, one of the most powerful hip hop songs of all time, man, and lyrics of all time, I would say, is The Message, in which they say, "Don't push me, cause I'm close to the
That's Curtis.
edge.
That's Curtis Blow, right? Is that Curtis
I'm
Blow?
trying not
That's
to
not Curtis
lose
Blow.
my
I forgot who that is. Very popular song from back in the day.
That's back in the day. I'm not sure if it's the brother Curtis, but all I know is the name of the song is The Message, man. And it was so crazy because like they used to have songs called The Message. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it was like, I remember self-destruction. We're headed for self-destruction. And you got to think about it, man. Like all of the top MCs of that time was on that track. You know what I'm saying? Where now it's like, we really talk about death and destruction a lot, man. And I think that, where the spirituality aspect of it comes in is that words are very powerful. And anytime that you are speaking words and you have people repeating those words, you're going to get some kind of blowback, man, from what you said. I tell people all the time, man, it's no coincidence, man, that Biggie Smalls was ready to die. And then it was life after death.
And then he got killed.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tupac said, you know what I'm saying, bury me a G, you know what I mean? Talking about his own death.
So are you saying that because of the way these guys, the message, he's talking about the message that they push out contributes to, in a sense, our demise, if you will?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Anytime that you get people to start to quote their own destruction and start to love it and start to live by it as a mantra, you got to understand, man, that in our community, unfortunately, a lot of people are functionally illiterate. And what I mean by that is, yeah, they might can read and write, but they're not that computer savvy. Or they might know how to work an iPhone, but they don't know how to spell. You know what I'm saying? And so this is just the reality. So a lot of times, all of what they really know is what they hear. And so it's like, man, the Bible say faith come by hearing and hearing by the word of God. But and is a conjunction word. So faith come by hearing is a complete thought. So whatever you hear, you're going to have faith in. You're going to believe it. And so, I mean, it was so powerful, man, back in Detroit, man. I was walking down the street, man. And this little kid, man, you know, he was like, you know, such and such say, you know, get money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying get money, you know. And I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So if
do you think, yeah, and you know, you said he's saying get money because, you know, obviously money revolves around us. Do you think that to push spirituality through hip hop means that you're pushing to be broke? I mean,
no.
That's a misconception that I hate, that people always think like when you're pushing consciousness or pushing spirituality, oh, well, all the conscious rappers are the broke ones, or just the ones that happen to want to push that message are broke. And that's a misperception, because many of the conscious MCs have money as well.
I mean, Most Def is a millionaire several times.
Nas is a
millionaire. You know, like you said, the Roots. Not only are they millionaires, but they're America's band now.
And they're conscious. Don't get it twisted. Don't let the Jimmy Fallon show get y'all.
You know what I mean?
These guys are, you know, this is Philadelphia still.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? These guys know what time it is.
I mean,
even Jay spits a little bit. I mean,
Outkast went diamond, bro. You know what I'm saying? And so
I guess what I'm saying, do you think that the reason that they don't push spirituality or spirituality and consciousness is because that seemed to be put in the box of, well, if you do that, you don't get no money, you don't get paid? No. Is that the big reason that you think these artists do that? Because I think that's part of the reason.
Man, honestly, man, like, you talk about this is real deep stuff, man. Honestly, I don't think it's the artists themselves, man. I think it's the people behind the artists. He who holds the gold pulls the strings, bro. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, you have to question. You got these multimedia companies, man, and corporations, man, that's pushing out these artists. But it's like, let me tell you something, man. In the 1960s, right, you had the Motown sound, and you had the Philadelphia music, you know what I'm saying, music movement, man, and all of them cats, man. You had Stax Records and all of that. And they was putting out music like, people get ready, cause the change is coming.
Sure enough.
You know what I'm saying? And war. Yeah.
Music that, that definitely spoke on the political conditions of, you know, what's going on now. And you know what? I don't hear any of that. Like, nobody. Yeah, I was saying, I don't really hear any of that as far as, like, you know, music that touches on, like, I know for a fact that when I chill and kick and talk to my friends, certain people have issues with Obama, certain people, nobody talks about that on the music though. I know for a fact that there's racism issues and people feel this type of way. Nobody talks about that. I know for a fact that there's religion issues and, you know, different perspectives. Nobody talks about that stuff. But yet music was supposed to be a place where you could talk about stuff, and nobody really speaks on anything. They give you that same money, cars, clothes, and we eat it up. We eat it up every single time. But when you really sit back and listen to all these artists, and analyze what they're actually talking about, most of them are talking about the same shit. Most of them are talking about that same shit.
And on top of that, though, man, it's like you hit it right on the head, though. That's actually a hook. I want the money, money and the clothes, cars and the hoes. I suppose. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be successful. But is that success, though? Like, a success to me is, you know, when you have a family, man, when you leave a legacy, man, like, you know, and when you really, you know, can stand the test of time, like when your music can stand the test of time. Like, the thing about it is, man, like Tupac Amaru Shakur died in September of 1996. But if you take any of his conscious music, it had the hardest beat, but the message behind it is brand new. It's relevant right now. Marvin Gaye died in, I believe, 1983. And what's going on is still what's going on. You know what I mean? But what from now, you know, what songs from now are really going to stand that test of time to be able to
and that's what I'm talking about. Like, to me, I mean, I don't really know of any songs that I could think of that will stand the test of time when it comes to us looking back maybe 15 to 20 years from now, saying like, you know, we're really gonna be the era that did nothing.
Did nothing.
I'm serious. Like, in my opinion, we're gonna be the era that didn't really do too much.
Dog, you know what's so crazy about that, man? I was just riding down the street today in Atlanta, and you know what came on the radio today in 2014? The Temptations, My Girl, came on the R&B station. You know what I'm saying? Like, that song came out in the early 1960s, man. Doom, 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 doom. You know what I mean? But it's relevant. You know what I'm saying? It's like, still, you know what I mean? And it's just, so you hit it right on the head when you like, man, you're like, what is, you know, did we do nothing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Did we do nothing for the people? Nothing. You know what I mean? It's just like,
we want to look at our R&B singers. We got Chris Brown. We got that new cat, August Alsina. We got Trey Songz. Now, let me tell you something. To be honest, all these brothers could sing. You know, I could throw Tank, Genuine, you know, Tyrese, the what's it, TGT? You know, we could throw them in there too. We could throw a lot of the young cats and females. Young, Keisha Cole, K. Michelle, throw all of them in there. When you listen to what the hell they be talking about, I'm gonna take TGT out.
Yeah, you got it. I'm about to
I'm about to pull my belt out right now, and I don't want to give them a whooping.
Yeah, you know
don't want to give the wrong kid the whooping,
because they got classics.
When you think about what a lot of these young R&B singers is talking, they don't talk about nothing. A lot of the songs don't even contain any real shit about love. Like, just look, I love you. That is it.
Yeah, man.
It's like you sleeping with this other man. Oh, I got your chick.
Make me remember you.
There's no spirituality.
There's no girl, I love you because I think you fine and I want to hold on to you. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. It's nothing wrong with a man loving a woman. It's absolutely
that's not gay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy.
That's a good thing. That's how it's supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to be.
You know what I mean? Like, it's almost coming off as like, damn, is spirituality like not cool? Spirituality ain't cool in music?
How about they trying to say that not only is spirituality not cool, but they trying to say that being romantic is not cool. But you know what's so funny? Because I say all the time, man, that I think that it's just amazing that in the black community, what has happened, in my opinion, is they have made it uncool for black men to sing and dance. But we are the best at singing and dancing. You know, case in point, when you think about R&B right now, and who's at the top of the R&B charts right now in 2014, it would startle a lot of people when they noticed that, man, it's Robin Thicke and Justin Timberlake that are at the top of the R&B charts in 2014. And while we've always had our, you know, Blue Eyed Soul and, you know, our Tina Marie's and Michael McDonald's of the world, you know what I mean? they were never the number one
And you
artist.
know what?
You know?
It's happening again. It's happening again because I remember during the Eminem era, that same shit happened. You know, Eminem, we could say what we want about Eminem. Eminem was really one of the first artists to be like, yo, fuck everything. Fuck everything. And fuck this, fuck that. Pointed it out. Called what was corny. Called if it was gay. We've been, you know, mind you, black artists, black hip hop artists have been doing that for a minute, but it really took Eminem to kind of really come out and really just say it blatantly for it to happen. The same thing with that was spirituality. That was spirituality to me. You calling shit spirituality is saying it like it is. Spirituality is speaking on what's obvious and what's not so obvious. You know what I mean? So let's move over to the R&B. On the R&B scale, Robin Thicke and Justin Timberlake, they did the same thing Eminem did. See, none of the black artists want to talk and go into that type of music, but the white artists did. And they're getting popular.
And they can sing too, because Miss Adele is really, she doing her thing, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like black artists, man, they not really singing like that. Like Adele sang, she can sing. And it's like, you know, like, man, you know, everybody love Beyonce, man. And you know what I'm saying? And the thing that really, you know, makes me scratch my head sometimes, man, is that, you know, it's like, man, like Drunken Love, you know, all of that, man, them is, you know what I'm saying, them songs is good, man, and everybody, you know, rock with the songs. But my thing is, like, Beyonce, you are the best singer. Go sing circles around these bees. Go, because you can. Though I didn't heard her sing. Like, so why is she not singing? Like,
but where's the spirituality in Drunken Love? Where's the spirituality in that? You know, I heard the verse with Kanye West, and that, you know what I mean? Like, that ain't no spirituality.
It ain't even no love, though. You know what I'm saying? It's not even a love portion.
That's
lust.
That's what's the word I'm looking for? She's talking about being in love, but drunk. They cancel each other out. You know what I mean? To me, it just doesn't seem like anyone is putting any real effort to speak on subjects that's really close to people's heart. We just trying to keep up with music these days. I'm noticing everybody's trying to keep up. You know, the spirituality is missing when artists don't want to talk about what's obvious, what's there in the streets, talk about the people's predicament and conditions. And the R&B singers are doing the same thing, and they don't talk about love. And the last guy that really did it, I mean, you see when you put spirituality in the equation, Poetic. Yeah. Look at All I Want Is You. Why can't I think of his Miguel? Look at Miguel. His album's so crazy. Yeah. And if you listen to, not every song is really spirituality. Some song is just freaky. But a lot of this shit is talking about, a lot of shit is talking about love. Yeah. Any soul. Like, when you put spirituality as the main ingredient in your music, it's gonna sell. We've seen that. And it's like, you know, like, my thing is this, like, man, I know, you know, all the Queen Bee fans out there, man, don't think I'm talking about your girl, man. I'm just saying that when I was in basic training, man, Beyonce and Kelly Rowland and the rest of the girls from Destiny's Child, they came and they sung at our basic training. You know, they did a concert for the troops, man. And I heard those girls sing then, and I heard them sing. And look, I'm not afraid to tell you that it brought a tear to my eye. She sounded so good. It was unbelievable how good she sounded. She's unbelievable. And my thing is, like, you know, is it too much to ask that from our number from our gems of this era that they can make something that had that feeling? Because the world need that feeling. You know what I'm saying? The world need love. You know what I mean? That's what's wrong with the black community, man. Like, back in the day, man, we had all kind of songs about love. Even the songs that was about getting something, man. It was, you know what I'm saying, romantic, you know what I'm saying? You know, some kind of romance, you know what I'm saying? And the so-called G's, old G's, they used to ride around and listen to that type of stuff. You know, all the so-called old school cats. That's what we grew up off of. You know what I mean? And it just seems music is staring the way into this. It's partying and so much of adhering to temptation. Like, that's all the music is like. Yeah, if you got a temptation, feed it. You know what I mean? That's what the music is pushing out. To me, and we're coming to almost wrap this up, we need to see an end from that. spirituality needs to be in hip hop because spirituality makes hip hop better. What is spirituality? Spirituality is when you're speaking on your conditions, your environment, and you can make it sound good. It doesn't have to be the good picture you're showing, but through your music, you can make people relate and understand and open their eyes up to it. And then what you have created now is now you have more artists coming behind you that want to do that. But when we have artists, they following the same line, that same formula, that same page, guess what happens to the music? It evaporates.
And it ain't even about just singing, man. You know what I mean? It's just like, to me, it's like being soulful. Like, you know, because for me, it's like, man, I grew up with Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, straight up. Because I grew up with DMX, man. And it was so crazy because, man, these some of the, you know, the roughest brothers around, man, at the time, man. Tupac really, you know what I'm saying, got shot to death. You know what I mean? Like, he was really about that life. You know, shot police and all that. You know what I mean? But they had so many conscious messages for the people, man. And then it was like, even if it wasn't a conscious message per se about uplifting the people, it's like, man, DMX, man, one of the most powerful songs ever made, man. Hey, yo, I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up. Hey, yo, I'm slipping, I'm falling.
That was real. That wasn't a song about black. That was a song about struggle for anybody.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody slips.
Before I hit rock bottom.
Everybody slips, falls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody slips, falls, and can't get up. You know, everybody goes through that, feeling like I'm slipping, I'm falling. Now, if you're not a human being to me, if you have not, or you just, you know, you got a silver spoon in your mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody struggles, man. And you gotta make music that relates to that, touches on it, speaks about it, not just touch on it. If folks just touch on it. You gotta speak about the struggle, man. You know what I mean? Just off top, who do I think in the game is really spitting spiritual? I like Ab-Soul. I like Freddie Gibbs. I like Drake even. Drake at least, you know, speaks on his emotions. He doesn't have to, you know, talk about all that other. But man, it's a slim.
I like Kendrick, bro. I definitely got to give it to Kendrick, man.
Kendrick is one. Lupe
does his thing,
another. Man. You know, sometimes, man, the conscious music, I guess what I hear from folks is it just doesn't bump like that. But it's not.
Kweli still is nicer than most people, bro, that ever rap, bro, and it's just amazing.
And it's because we got a fan base that they're not tuned to that frequency. You see, if you're not looking for spirituality in music, you're not gonna get it. What are you looking for in music? When you listen to music, what are you looking for? I think fans really need to think about that because everybody, to me, just listens to what the hell ever. You know, if you want to do that, you can listen to the radio because the radio is gonna play what the hell ever. You know what I mean? Like the way we change this right now is you have to be very clear and decisive about who you listen to today. You can't just listen to anybody, man. You can't. Just like you can't just read anything. You know what I mean? It has to be something that intrigues you or that touches on something that you can relate to. This is spirituality. Spirituality relates to other people. You know, when you sway away from spirit, you talk about Young Jeezy, he's talking about one specific a trial, but it's one specific, it's trap, nothing else. So you really don't get to know who this person is. You really don't get to relate because, you know, not everybody traps, not everybody is about that life. Spirituality is global, it's universal. Everybody, when Marvin Gaye came out with a song, What's Going On? Everybody felt it, not just black, white folks too. The song was a hit. It was a what? Number one song.
Yeah, man. And it's like this, man. It's like, I put it to you like this, man, to put things in perspective. Everybody talks about money now, you know, and I guess they make it seem like when you get money, you know what I'm saying, that's all you can talk about. You can't really talk about the struggle. But Michael Jackson was nearly a billionaire when he made Heal the World, Make It a Better Place for me and for you and the entire human race, you know what I mean? Man in the Mirror, you know what I'm saying? Nobody was doing it like Mike, bro. Nobody was better than Mike, bro. As far as singing, dancing, nobody had the longevity that Michael Jackson had, and nobody really had that paper like he had, man. But yet he still had a heart to try to make the world a better place. So I think that having, you know, funds and having resources or whatever is not about being able to just party, get drunk. You know what I'm saying? Black people don't need to party no more, man. Like, we struggling in this country. All people struggling in this country, but black people specifically,
struggling the most.
You know what I'm saying? Are struggling in this country, man. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, man, anything that is negative, I'm talking about incarceration rates, obesity rates, being able, the lack of being able to read, you know what I'm saying, illiteracy rates. We the highest. Dropout rates, murder rates, you know what I'm saying, most likely to die before 21 years old, black men, you know what I mean? But the one thing that is peaking is sisters are graduating at a record pace, man. So, you know, shout out to black women, you know, for really going to college, man, and graduating. You know, they lead all the statistics, man, as far as new graduates and women that are getting PhDs, it's black women. But it really shows you that while our women are going up, the black men is going down. And really, we need both in order for our race to stay around, you know? So, we need music to be better.
We definitely got to get it together. Yo, Poetic, I want you to speak on your Inner City Blues project and tell folks why they will find spirituality in your music.
Well, you know, man, like my first album that I ever did, man, was Inner City Blues, man, and it was I named it Inner City Blues because it was after Marvin Gaye, man. I'm from Detroit, man. I'm really from them streets, man. Like, you know, I grew up on 6 Mile in Wyoming, man. I went to Mumford High School, man. I lived there my whole life, man. Even ended up growing up to work on the radio with the great John Mason, you know, Detroit basketball and all of that, man. But I named my album Inner City Blues because working with the cats from Motown, the late great Thomas Harold Bowles, you know what I'm saying, he used to teach me how they made records and how they mixed records and how to feel it and how to put the emotion into it. And so at that time in my life, man, I talked about everything that was going on, man. And, you know, first thing I say on my album, man, is we were born in the worry, sold and trapped in sin. The last thing I say is Jesus is a friend of mine. And, you know, and at this point in my career, man, I've decided that I'm going to start, you know, making more Christian contemporary music.
Let me ask you this. We talk about spirituality. And spirituality ain't no microwave. How long did it take you to come out with that whole project?
Man, 5, almost 6 years, almost 7 years.
Stop
man.
right there. How long do most of these guys take to come out with these so-called hits that we hear on the radio? Trinidad James said himself he had been rapping for 8 to 9 months.
Yeah, but it was crazy because it was like, man, it took me so long, man, because I really went and got, you know, the real horn players, man. Like I had Alan Barnes, man, who played with the legendary Blackbirds with Donald Byrd, you know, doing it in the park, Rock Creek Park. Man, I had the legendary guitarist Ricky Rouse, man, who is the lead guitarist, man, for Parliament Funkadelic, man. You know what I mean? I had Silent Riot Studios, man, out of Detroit, man, who went and produced, you know, things for D12 and Eminem and Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and all of it. You know what I'm saying? So it took me some years, man, to be able to have all of these different kind of talents, man. I had El Renee, man, who's currently on tour with Kim, man, you know, singing backup, man. And these are the voices and the people and the sounds, man. A lady named Jackie G, you know what I'm saying, who was a phenomenal singer. She was one of the voices that people used to sing with back in the day, once again, with the Brides of Funkenstein, man, the Parliament thing. Because, you know, Detroit that is all the Detroit sound, man. So I wanted to incorporate all of that into this album, man.
It definitely sounds like you took a lot of time and care, and not just that, like networking.
Yeah, networking,
with a lot of other artists, and this is to me why your album has that universal sound. Like you could play it for black, white, Indian, Asian. I think they'll still reciprocate it. You know, they'll all still reciprocate it the same way. You know, it's universal music. This is what happens, folks, when you take your time and work on it with the right type of people, because you have spirituality in mind. You want it to sound good, make a difference in people's lives, and leave a lasting memory on what they're listening to. You can check out more of Poetic on runtrueatlanta.com. Poetic, you have any
music
Twitter or Gmail that you want to hit them up at?
Yeah, man, hit me up at Poetic 313 at Instagram. You know, that's my Instagram, man, Poetic 313, and Poetic Music with a Z 313 on Twitter, man. You know, hit me up, man.
And we out this biatch. We just wanted to talk
Peace,
about spirituality and hip hop, man. Y'all keep making that good music. Be very careful with who you listen to. Be very careful if you're an artist what type of music you make, because whatever you're making is going to affect the world. Even if it's only one fan that you have. This is for all the new artists. I did this spirituality and hip hop not for the older artists, because a lot of these guys are going to keep doing what they do. This is for the new artists that's coming up. I advise you to take time, make good music, but make music that shows off you being aware of your situation and condition and wanted to make it better. That to me is great music.
And always always stay true to who you are. I'm leave y'all with this. Mind racing, thinking on past tragedy. All this pressure building has got me acting erratically. Really, it's kind of sad that me. Heartache can seem to straddle me. Women, they choose to pass me. Hookers is always grabbing me. Homies, they turn their back on me. They collapsing me. Plus, walking for Jesus, the devil always attacking me.
We out.
Yeah.